Sat in a hotel room in Kiev, Ukraine, watching Al Jazeera television. And I watched, it's very moving on one level. I watched thousands of people in a square in Cairo. It was the night that Mubarak agreed to leave. And I saw this joy, this euphoria. But because of what I've been researching for nearly a quarter of a century, I knew that it wasn't like that at all. Because you have an agenda to take over country after country after country in the Middle East and Near East. And still today, you've got to somehow find an excuse to justify it to the people. So, how do we invade Afghanistan? Right. What we do, we'll set up our intelligence agencies and military, and some foreign ones, to create a horrific fake attack on America, not fake for those who suffered, but fake in terms of who was behind it. And we'll blame it on 19 Arab hijackers who couldn't fly one-engine Cessnas, but somehow manifested the ability to fly wide-body jets in ways that a Lufthansa pilot, the German airline of 28 years of flying these things, said he could never have done. And we'll blame it on a guy that actually for a long time, Osama bin Laden, who was on our payroll, and fighting the Russians in Afghanistan, and we'll say he was behind it, he's in Afghanistan, he's been protected by the Taliban in Afghanistan, we must invade Afghanistan. God, that's one down, okay. Whew. I want Iraq next. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What about weapons of mass destruction? Let's tell him that he can hit the American mainland. He can hit British targets in 45 minutes. Let's do that. But it's not true. It doesn't matter if it's true, as long as they believe it. We can go in. Okay, all right, we're in. Gotcha. Okay, what's next? That Gaddafi's got to go. How do we get rid of him? Well, tell you what we do. We put our people on the ground, and we get people on our payroll, like a guy called Khalifa Hifter, who was on the payroll for 20 years in Virginia of the CIA. We get him over, a Libyan guy, and we'll start a situation where they start shooting at government targets. Okay? What will happen then? Well, the Libyan government will start shooting back. So what we do is when they start shooting at government targets, right, no one says a word. Shh. No media, nothing. When they start shooting back, we say, Libyan Gaddafi, he's killing his own people. And we say it's a humanitarian effort. And then we send the boys in, right? And we get a resolution, 1973, I think it was, at the UN Security Council, which doesn't give us the right to go and pepper bomb cities while protecting civilians, but we do it anyway. We own the United Nations. That's what they're going to do. Okay. And then we get rid of him, and we create a total mess and a civil war in Libya. But we got their oil, and we've got their, up to that point, semi-autonomous banking system. Who's next? Syria. We want them. Well, it worked in Libya, didn't it? Well, guess it did. Well, let's do the same. And so we'll start putting our people on the ground in Syria, causing conflict and shooting at government troops, and then they'll shoot back. And at that point we say, Assad's killing his own people, and you know, we'll do that. And then Lebanon, they'll fall. I mean, Israel, I mean, crikey, they own us. So Lebanon, that'll fall. And then there's just Iran. I mean, we've been after that for a long time, haven't we? It's a funny situation, you know, because when you look at a list of countries that dangerous Iran has invaded in the last 200 years, well, there's no one there. But when you look at a list of countries that America has invaded and Britain has invaded in the last 200 years, well, we need some more reams of paper. But people don't know that because they don't look beyond the news. So we'll tell them that Iran's really dangerous. And even though Israel has this massive nuclear arsenal, which we don't ever talk about, and it's not signed the the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, but it doesn't matter. Shh. We'll tell them that Iran, who doesn't have nuclear weapons, is really dangerous nuclear power. And somehow we'll get a way of going in there. And we've got all that oil, and we own all. Now Pakistan's got no chance. And now we're at the borders with China, and we're moving up to Russia, and we get all that area that we want. We already control Europe, and this is what we do, you see. And so at each point, we need an excuse. Now, we can't keep bombing everybody all the time because people are saying, well, you're bombing everyone all the time. What's going on? So we need a few little other reasons. So what we do is that we have these agencies and trusts that come under the overseeing of a man called George Soros, a billionaire financier. And on the quiet, they train people in the art of civil disobedience, not in a positive way to actually bring freedom, but to provide an excuse to overthrow the regime. So we'll do it in the Ukraine, we'll do it in Georgia. We've got that guy Saakashvili, complete bloody idiot, but he does as he's told, so that's fair enough. We put him in from the Rose Revolution, we call that. We always call it a colour, keep it simple. And then we'll do that in create the Arab Spring in Egypt, and Mubarak, who we used to have drinks with, in the White House, used to come on holiday with us sometimes. Well, we'll say he's a bad guy now because he's getting old, he's not used to us anymore, and we'll get rid of him, but we'll keep it the same. And so it goes on, and what we'll do is we'll say that social media played a massive part in this revolution of the people, you see. And what I tell you what we'll do, we'll get a Google executive out of one of the Arab countries, and we'll get him over into Egypt, and we'll let him run the social. Oh, he's a hero, all that stuff, We don't tell him that Google is owned by us, like Facebook is owned by us, or that the head of DARPA, one of the darkest, most sinister organizations in America, and further afield, that is the technological kill more people, mind control more people, technological development arm of the Pentagon. We won't make much of the fact that the head of that has just gone and joined Google. A bit of a career move, that, but it's we've got some other things along the pipeline that we needed in there, you see. And basically, we tell the people what they want to believe, and because they don't want to believe what they don't want to believe, i.e. we're manipulating it, or therefore there's something to worry about, then they just believe it. You know what I mean? Oh, it's an Arab Spring. But there's this little common theme, you see. The people in power that were controlled by us before become different people in power afterwards, still controlled by us. It's called revolution.
Welcome back to the show. Now, would you pay more than $100 to sit for 12 hours and listen to a man who claims the world is run by lizard aliens?
Well, that's not all. Former British TV sports presenter David Icke is telling the audience on his Aussie tour that he believes the moon is a gigantic spacecraft and 9/11 was a conspiracy theory. David joins us now. David, good morning to you.
Good morning. You know why they're doing it? Because they've got a mind of their own, and they've taken the self-respect to look at the detail and then think, that makes some sense, I'm going to know more. That's why. They're intelligent people.